All right, how's it going, everyone? Trevor here, and today I want to answer or dive into a question I got. I got this question again the other day, and I get it a lot. It's a common question or some form of this question, and that is with kids, especially kids, youth athletes wanting to build muscle, parents wondering how to help their kids gain muscle, and then just everyday people like myself wanting to build muscle as we get older because muscle is important. We need muscle. It's going to act as a kind of a protector of joints and ligaments and help you be stronger. It's going to help you burn more fat. So you should want to have muscle. Muscle looks better than fat too. A pound of a muscle and a pound of fat are the same weight, but a pound of fat is all blobby and goopy and gross looking. Muscle's lean and for chiseled kind of look, muscular, so to speak. I guess that's a better term, but you get the picture of look at a person that's covered in body fat or a person that's covered in muscle. Which one looks better? Yeah, there's the freaks that look just disgusting with too much muscle, but think of that lean, athletic, muscular body. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you should want. That low, that think like single digit body fat, like maybe like 8 to 12% body fat, somewhere in that range is a good range. Even up to 15. I mean, you can if you have big enough muscle definition, you can look pretty good at that too. So, but again, they want to know how to build muscle or how to add muscle, and then usually the next question is, what supplements do I need to take to build muscle? And that's just skipping the whole process. Let's talk about building muscle. And what do we need to do? We need to dial in the big rocks, just like general health and fitness, just like if you're trying to cut weight or burn some body fat. You need to get the big rocks in place first. It's that simple. And once you get you don't even need to worry about the other stuff really until these things are in place. So building muscle, what do you need to do? Let's start first by sleeping. Get a lot of sleep. Sleep is going to help. Sleep is when our body rebuilds and repairs the muscle, because training, you break that down. No matter if it's lifting weights or playing your sport, you're breaking down that muscle, and you need to sleep to repair that. And that's what people don't understand. They neglect to sleep. I always say it's probably the first thing people neglect is cutting back on sleep, whether it's you got late practice or game, or you got to get up early for practice and game. That's where these coaches don't understand the importance of sleep either, because they're having their kids are up late on a game night, and then have them come in early for practice. That's just dumb. Let the kids sleep. Sleep. They don't get enough of it, and teachers, stop giving them so much homework and stuff too. Like, let them give them time in class. You're wasting so much time in school anyway, where they're just sitting doing absolutely nothing. Uh, Stop. These kids got enough going on, honestly, where they're not sleeping anyway. But make sure sleep is a priority. And adults, you should know better. Get to sleep. Yeah, we can't always control everything. We might have young kids or work or life stuff gets in the way. But if you're prioritizing sleep the majority of the time, you're going to be great, doing so much better. And then those nights when you don't get enough sleep, you can still just push right through them and still get something done. But making sure sleep. So prioritizing it, get 7+ for adults is a good starting point. Kids, probably 8-9+ hours of sleep is better off. And when you're going to sleep, go to bed an hour more than you actually want. So if you want 8 hours sleep, go to bed 9 hours before you need to get up. So you're giving yourself time to fall asleep. You're giving yourself that little buffer zone for the times you wake up at night and that type of thing. So that is number one, is dial in your sleep, because that is, again, where you repair and rebuild the muscle that you break down during your training, during your days. So sleep. Get that dialed in. Then we got to get our nutrition in place. You can control your nutrition. You are the one who puts the stuff in your mouth, the food, what you eat, and what you drink. So get your nutrition in and start with your quality of food first. That's first and foremost. Again, that should be in place already. Getting good quality, whole nutrient dense, real foods from earth grown or animal sources, and then we get to figure out what types of food or we need. So think of your protein. Get high protein at least around probably 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're active, probably even more. Honestly, protein's not. It's not gonna turn to fat. And again, protein is what helps you build and repair muscle. So you need it. We need protein, and again, muscle is gonna burn that fat, so we're gonna look better. So we want to build it. So we need to make sure we're eating enough protein. Think your meats, your lean beef, your fish, your chicken, eggs, egg whites, any real meat. Dairy can help. You might have lactose intolerance, so again, be wary. That's where that stuff comes in. Get your protein in. Eat a lot of it. Eat it. Maybe I would say evenly with each meal. So probably you should be somewhere around like 4 to 6 meals, somewhere in there, depending on again and this is going to be all individualized, how many meals fit your lifestyle, what works best for you. Evenly space those out. 2 to 4 hours is always a good goal with your meals, just to help with the protein synthesis and stuff. But again, these are the a little bit minor things compared to the big things of getting enough good quality nutrition, eating enough protein from whole nutrient dense sources. So proteins, eat fat too. I always think keep protein high, fat in the moderate range. So maybe like 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound of body weight is good. And then fill in the rest with carbs on, again, and to build muscle, for most people, you need to be in a caloric surplus. So you need to be eating more calories than you are burning. Yes, if you're a noob and you can build some muscle while cutting and stuff like that, but that's a lot tougher. So you're trying to burn fat and build muscle. If you're building muscle, you can burn some fat too. So again, it's all individualized, but these are just some general qualities that you need to build muscle. So being a caloric surplus, that doesn't mean eating 10,000 calories when your maintenance calories is like 2,500 or something. Go maybe like 500 more calories. Start there is a good rough goal, and then add on from there. But again, if you don't want to count calories, start eating the whole nutrient dense real foods. If you're losing weight and you're trying to build muscle, add a little bit more protein first. Then maybe add some more carbs. Keep your fats around the same again, and go from there. That's where we work with people on this and designing the individualized nutrition plan for each person I work with. But again, these general ideas of eating whole nutrient dense foods, eating enough of it, and if you're losing too much weight, then obviously you need to eat more of it. And these whole nutrient dense foods are kind of self-regulating in the fact that they're harder to overeat, whereas it's hard to overeat a ton of apples or oranges or stuff like that because they have more nutrients in them that actually fill you up. And it's tough to eat a ton of chicken or steak or beef just because, again, protein is satiating. It fills you up, and you got to chew most of it. So in that case, but again, so you're getting your protein, you're eating fat, you're getting enough carbs. So get enough carbs that's going to fuel you. It's going to help you build muscle. It's going to keep you energized. It's going to fuel your workouts, your training sessions. So again, carbs, think your fruits, your vegetables, rice, potatoes, yams, oats, sprouted grains, those types of things, quinoa, that type of stuff. Get your carb sources from that. Fill up on those. Mix them in with a good protein meal, protein, carb, and fat. Think each meal. Again, post-workout, you probably don't want a lot of fiber, that type of stuff. Pre-workout, probably don't want a lot of fiber or fat as well. Same with post-workout, just because you want something in your system that gets in there a little bit quicker. But again, those are minor details. Once you dial in these bigger things first, and you're starting to see some muscle, you're starting to see some mass gain, then you're gonna start getting more, and then you can start dialing in a little bit more and being a little bit more fine tuning, so to speak. So you get your nutrition, your whole nutrient dense food, making sure you're eating enough, because that's what these kids come in and they're eating a bunch of garbage first and foremost, and then they think they're eating enough, and then they're skipping meals. They're not eating enough protein, and they wonder why they're always hungry, and they wonder why they're 100 pounds at almost 6 feet tall or whatever it is, or they're overweight and obese because they just eat junk and sit around all day. So you got both ends of the spectrum, but these principles are going to work for everyone. So you need, if you want to build muscle, you need to make sure you're eating enough. Under eating is huge with kids that are skipping breakfast or skipping lunch. Those types of things. They're not eating enough protein, not eating enough good quality food in general. And that is the starting point. Start there. Make sure they're eating enough food, eating enough good quality real food instead of all the junk you serve them. And then you blame it on them because all that junk food's in the house, and that's your fault as a parent. And if you are an adult and you're trying to build muscle, same things work for you. Make sure you're eating enough proteins, carbs, and fats so you're slowly but surely adding mass. It's not, you don't want to try and gain 5 pounds every week. If you're doing that, you're just adding too much fat, too much water weight that's not going to stay anyway, not muscle. So again, eat more, good quality food, sleep more, you're going to build muscle. And then we get into our training. So you need to train hard, you need to train often, and you need to do a lot of different things with your training. So think you're going to be training like an athlete. You hear me say it all the time, it's the best way to train. So you're going to be sprinting, you're going to be throwing, you're going to be jumping, crawling, rolling, skipping, hopping, all these athletic movements, and then you can combine that with the resistance training, lifting weights, trying to build power and strength and muscle through lifting. But again, training is where you're breaking down your muscles in your body and in everything. So that's why you need to refuel with the food and refuel and re-energize with the sleep. So that training is building down, breaking down the muscle so we can build it back up stronger and bigger with our sleep and nutrition. And making sure our training, different rep schemes, different strength training. You don't need to train high reps with low weight all the time. You can do that for some things. That's fine. But again, that's the thing. It all will build muscle by just training high reps, 3 sets of 20, 3 sets of 25, that type of stuff. For some things, yeah, that's fine, but you don't need to do that for squats and deadlifts and our big compound movements. You can build good, solid, lean, quality muscle with lower reps and stuff like that. So again, make sure your training is on point, focusing on the compound movements first. So you're first, I think the training, the sprinting, the jumping, the throwing, those athletic movements first. Those are priorities. Then with your lifting, you're going to do the focus on the compound movements, the squats, the hinges, the upper body pushes, horizontal and vertical, and pulls, horizontal and vertical, lunges, carrying stuff. And then you can sprinkle in the isolation, the biceps, because who doesn't want nice big arms, biceps and triceps, calves, that type of stuff. The more isolated, hit the hamstrings with some direct hamstring work, the abs with some direct ab work, the low back with some direct low back work, the shoulders, back of the shoulders, all that stuff can be hit with more isolation exercises. But that's not the main focus. That's kind of listed the seasoning on the meal, so to speak, if we look at training as a meal, where the compound lifts are going to be the meat and potatoes there. And then work in different rep ranges, do power. So you're going to lift fast, you're going to lift heavy, different variations just to change it up. We're not trying to be lifters necessarily. So you can do a different squat variation. You can do different hinge variations and bench variations and stuff like that. So find what works for you, what ultimately you like, and what's going to keep you coming back. And most importantly, make it fun. Training should be fun. You should enjoy going to the gym. You should enjoy going to practice. I remember a lot of times coaches made practice absolutely miserable because it was just so dumb and stupid and pointless stuff we'd do, and boring and mundane. That training needs to be fun, whether it's a practice, whether it's lifting in the gym, whether it's sprinting. Make it fun. Sprinting is, again, need to do that because that is important for building muscle. You're going to burn fat and build muscle through sprinting. It's the best thing you can do. It's the fastest you can move your body. Even if you're not fast, you're still going to be fast for your speed. So get the training in, get the compound lifting in. So think, depending on time of year, depending on if you're in sport and all that stuff, I would say generally lift 3 to 5 times a week is a good goal. I would say either do full body lifts or an upper lower lifts. We're not trying to be bodybuilders or anything like that, so we don't need the push pull legs, that type of stuff. Hit a full body or hit upper lower splits, I think are great for being an athlete for life. And then sprint 2 to 3 times a week, jump 2 to 3 times a week, and throw 2 to 3 times a week. Again, these are all gonna, and then make sure we're doing some, if you're not in season, not in a sport, some conditioning as well, or cardio, whatever you want to call it. So again, there's millions of different ways of doing conditioning. I prefer to actually play sports or play games for your conditioning, and then walk for your low intensity conditioning. So get in plenty of walks. So get 10 to 15,000 steps a day, because that's going to allow you to even eat more. I think, again, I forgot to mention this on the eating part. Yeah, well, I guess that would be for, you want to eat as much as possible with gaining as little fat as possible. So walking, just being active during the day is going to help you. I guess we'll talk about that. The next thing is, but allow you to eat eat more than even, and still not gain a ton of fat, and just make sure it's muscle that you're gaining, because you're going to gain some fat. That just comes with the territory of weight gain and muscle gain and mass gain, but we want to minimize that as much as possible. Make sure that's mostly quality lean mass and muscle there. So, but where were we on the training? So yeah, 3 to 5 times a week lift, sprint 2 to 3, jump 2 to 3, and conditioning cardio. Yeah, so the other days, walk every day, get your steps in every day, and then sprinkle in a couple days of cardio. You could do some higher intensity stuff. Maybe you like to do some hill sprints with a little bit, maybe like every minute on the minute, that type of thing. Sprint for 5 seconds, rest for 55 seconds, that type of thing. And just build up on those, or tempo runs, or playing a game. I like to do crawling circuits for my aerobic health. Maybe you like doing airdyne bikes, 20-30 minutes of just a lower intensity, keeping your heart rate in the zone 1, zone 2, that area. I mean, again, this stuff is going to be more for general health and heart health, but it's going to help you recover in between your workouts and stuff as well. So you're able to perform better, you're able to do more, take on a little bit more volume, go heavier, that type of stuff, and just bounce back quicker, so you're not having to take 10 days off after squatting or whatever it is. So that aerobic conditioning can help with that as well as build your heart health. But again, it's going to help recover, so you can work out more and train better. And again, more is not always better. Better is better. So good quality technique, good quality form, mechanical tension. So lifting heavier loads and getting decent amount of volume. Again, everyone's going to have a volume that works for you. Again, you can get volume in by doing more sets with less reps, or more sets with, or less sets with more reps. But again, it all depends on the exercise. But again, it's about finding what works for you. These are just some general things, again, with training. So along with training, like I said, you need the daily activity. So just moving every day. It could be just prescribed mobility work, where you set out some time to do some just mobility things, crawling, that type of stuff, or yoga-ish type stuff, or just walking or playing with your kids, or if you're a kid, just getting up and going out and walking home from the bus or walking home from school or whatever it is. Just be active, move. Because again, if you just, yes, we need rest, we need to sit around and relax. But if that's all you do, all you're doing is playing video games, that's why a lot of these kids are fat and overweight. That's why a lot of adults are fat and overweight, because they just sit and watch Netflix or binge TV and then just eat Doritos and Pringles all the time. And they wonder why they can't move anymore. So make sure you're moving. Activities, adults do the chores. Kids do the chores for your parents. Play with the kids if you're an adult. Chase them around, go outside, go for walks, go for hikes, bike rides, that type of stuff. Just daily activity, that's going to help, again, minimize the fat gain, and you'll be able to eat a little bit more too. So, and who doesn't like to eat? So that's one thing there. So, and again, just with that, again, then rest and recover. So let your body recover. That goes with sleep. That's number one. Nutrition is number two with the sleep or with recovery, and then having a proper training plan. So you're not just crushing yourself, going balls to the wall every day. You should have time in there rest. If you need a full day off, or you just need a day to do maybe some pool work or light walking or mobility routines or yoga, something like that, that's not as intensive, do it. That can help. But relax too. Take time for yourself to mentally, physically, emotionally just relax, get away. Whether that's video games, whether that's just laying on the couch watching a movie or reading a book, whatever it is. Do that, because relaxing is, again, when we recover, we relax, that's when the muscle repairs and rebuilds, and we need that too. So again, then we can train hard our next training session. Stress, make sure you're not super stressed out. It's not as obvious, but again, everything we do is a stress. If we got everything and we're just mentally, physically worn out and stressed out from school, from homework, from sports, for an adult, from family, from work, all this stuff, that's just weighing down, and then that's dragging into your training session. That's causing you not to sleep. It's causing you to make poor nutrition choices. So don't overlook the power of stress when it comes to building muscle, because you need to make sure you're not overfilling your stress cup. Again, everything we do is a stress, but make sure we're getting enough good stressors and not as many bad stressors that's just causing everything else to be negative. So again, you should want to build muscle. It looks better than fat. It makes you move better, feel better, and perform better than being fat. It's going to make you healthier too. Again, you can get too much and all these weird looking rutted up people, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about lean, athletic, good quality muscle that's, I guess, quote unquote, functional. But you're able to do everything in life because you are lean and athletic, and it's going to make you feel better, and you're going to look better. That's a side effect too. So you're going to actually like what you see when you look in the mirror or on the scale. So again, if you need more help building muscle, reach out. You can jump on a consult, or I'll help you out. We can get started on a plan too. So all my programs include training, nutrition, sleep, all these factors. We dive into those. That's what coaching is all about, to help you ultimately build the best version of yourself that you want to be in. Who doesn't want to build a little bit of muscle? So that's what I got for you today, guys. I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks.